Everybody, it's Dr. Mandy, and I am back for another podcast. Yes, I had that baby, and it's been 8 months now, and I'm going back at it, and I'm excited because this one is a true dear one for me. It is Auro Wellness Glutathione. Now, some of you who've been my patients and been following me know that I like to use the spray, although I also use other forms of it, which we will talk about today. But the spray is really nice and convenient. And when I found out that it can be absorbed this way, I found that this was a solution for a lot of us because some of us, they either don't have access to other forms of glutathione or they don't like taking it. And then there might be some absorption issues that we get to learn about today with the founder of Auro Wellness. He is here today to talk to us about this. So first, I want him to introduce himself. Thank you.
Well, thanks for having me here today. Appreciate the time.
We're glad to have you. So tell us a little bit about your story, how you got into this, and pronounce your name completely so we can pronounce it correctly.
Absolutely. So my name is Nayan Patel. I'm a pharmacist by trade. Um, this is a brief introduction. Over the years, I was not born to do what I'm doing today, but what I was born was to make a difference in people's lives. So that's what my calling was. And my mom kept on telling me when I was young that one day you're going to be somebody, something. But that's it. Well, all moms say the same thing, I guess. But so my mom was believed in what I had to do. And the because is that the authenticity that I come with that I bring into my world is what alluded to me where I'm today. So as a pharmacist, I've studied at the USC School of Pharmacy in Southern California. Right out of pharmacy school, I got into a compounding pharmacy business. I've treated celebrities and CEOs and high-power individuals all over the world, mainly United States, but I have clients all over the world. And long story short, in that dimension, they were all looking for something that they can help them live forever. Hence, my journey towards finding the ultimate solution for people that want to live a healthier, longer life without having diseases. So that's what my journey has been, from pharmacist to compounding pharmacy to educator. And since then, I've been a father of three kids. I am a husband to a lovely wife for 29 years. I'm a dad to my dog, I guess. I don't know if the dog loves me or not, but he loves my glutathione for sure. And it's overall that has been my journey.
That's awesome. I love that journey. And we all have our journey. So let's dive in because glutathione for many people. So I've been working with interstitial cystitis for the last 7 years, what primarily my focus because that's what I had. And I found out I had very low glutathione levels. I genetically don't make it very well, and my levels were tanked. I had very little. And so glutathione was very, very good for me, especially when I started to take things like antimicrobials initially to address a lot of my infections. I had a lot of die off, and so glutathione saved my life. I always say glutathione saved my life. Then I got into IVs and injections, and then I found this product, and so now that's exclusively what I use. But there's going to be some new people on here. Now I'm getting into fertility. So before was IC, now it's fertility. So I do want
Mm,
to kind of talk about fertility too, if we can,
sure.
because infertility is a big problem right now in the Western world. We're starting to see more and more cases of infertility in younger people who should not have infertility, even in their 20s. There's a problem.
Wow.
We have a problem. Yes, it's an epidemic. We're seeing a lot of pregnancy loss. We're seeing a lot of miscarriages, and we're seeing just people just can't get pregnant. So people want to start their families. Let's see, can glutathione help them? I believe it can. That's my belief. And so we can talk about that. So before we get into that, what is glutathione?
Ha that's the $1 million question. If you have heard me on my podcast, I've probably done over 100 plus podcasts. It's a first question that comes in. What is glutathione? And the reason is because even though we have known for 140 years of glutathione, nobody talks about it because until now there was not a clear way to give it to your body to take it and to use it. And so if you cannot enhance it, if you cannot make a difference in people's lives, then nobody talks about it, right? And so since we're here talking today, let me just tell you briefly, it's the most abundant molecule produced in the human body. It's a tripeptide. That means it's a three amino acids coming together. It's one of the simplest form, but yet the body has a tremendous amount of energy being used to produce this one tripeptide in your body at all times. And people don't want to know what it is. But what people are really asking me is, well, I don't care what it is. Tell me what it does for me. So people know things by what it does, not what it is. And what it does for is a master antioxidant. And the word master is something kind of a little bit, what is a teacher? No, no, it's not a teacher. What master antioxidant means is that it's the only molecule that surpasses the antioxidant benefit than any other products in the world combined. If we combine anything that's in the world that claim as an antioxidant, put up all of them together, glutathione will be better than that by itself. So it's a master antioxidant. And the second part of which most people do not talk about this too much is that it's a master detoxifier. When I say master, that means it has one role in conjugations and eliminate stuff out of your liver. But if you have a gene mutation and when you cannot produce methylation groups, it does that work as well to get rid of it. And so when I say master, that means it does more than what its own job. It helps the body does somebody else's job as well if the body is not capable to doing so. So it's two things, antioxidant and detoxification, and they're both activated by glutathione. And so what is it known for is for those purposes and not what it is.
Okay, that's a great explanation. So, how does your body make it?
So, well, it's easy, right? It's three amino acids coming together, glycine, glutamine, cysteine, two enzymes to go along with it to put those three amino acids together. It's in a particular sequence. It's not just randomly put together. It's a particular sequence. It requires two molecules of ATP, which is your energy from your mitochondria, and an electron transfer happens because of NAD. And it is recently in all over the news. So if people talk about those things, it is just an electron transfer molecule by itself does not do much, but it's an electron transfer molecule. The example is like a light switch. Light switch does not produce electricity, but it releases electricity from the pole to the tube or to the bulb, so the bulb gets lit up. So the switch is like a master, but it doesn't do anything other than just transfer the electrons from one place to another. That's what NAD is. So if you have all these ingredients in your body can produce glutathione for the rest of your life from the childhood until you're 100 years of age. No problem whatsoever.
Well, I've seen a chart that shows your glutathione over time with age. So levels decline with age, correct?
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
Why
of
is that?
course. Well, the thing is, keep in mind, even though you have, let's say you get all the amino acids from your diet, but you have less enzymes, then your body stops producing less. If you have less energy or less mitochondria, so mitochondria, which is the energy powerhouse, when you're a young kid, you're jumping up the wall all the time, right? When you're 50 years of age, I said, well, my best vacation, I didn't do nothing. Oh my God, I was such a great weekend. I said, what did you do? You know what? Nothing. That was so good about it. And so your energy starts decreasing, and the energy is necessary for the body functions to happen. If you don't have enough ATP energy, the body cannot produce glutathione. If your body cannot produce enough glutathione, it cannot reduce oxidative stress or oxidation on your mitochondria to produce more energy. So it's like a vicious cycle, right? So that is why as we start aging, the levels of glutathione starts dropping over time, and it gets to a point when it drops. Even a slight drop in glutathione levels damages the mitochondria, and the mitochondria produces less energy, and so next day you're producing less glutathione. Goes back, oh my God, it's damaged even more, produces less ATP, and it goes back reduces the glutathione levels again. And it gets lower and lower and lower day by day, year by year until you die.
Yes. That's it's like a vicious cycle.
It
Yeah.
is, we got to
Yeah.
break it. We had to break it.
So, are there factors that can deplete it though outside of age, like toxicity, heavy metals, mold, things like that?
All of those, right? And again, I'm not sure about the mold issue, but mainly it's the toxicities from the environment, which is pesticides, environmental toxins, even sunlight. Overexposure to sunlight can also cause oxidative stress and oxidation in your body. And so all those things can actually deplete your glutathione levels. But the number one thing that does it is it's your own. But if you smoke cigarettes or cigars or vaping, they'll deplete glutathione levels. If you drink one drink of alcohol can deplete glutathione levels to zero for the next 3 to 4 hours. And so there are some known causes, and some of them are causes that but the thing is, in the name of having fun, you're going to do some crazy things, and then the body has to pay the price for it.
Wow. And I always talk about alcohol. And no, I'm not popular because of that. I'm very unpopular because I always talk about you gotta give up your love affair of alcohol. The Americans love their
Yes.
alcohol.
Yes, we
It's
do.
like every social event. It's ridiculous. And for me, I see it as lowering a lot of vitamins in the body, like B1 and B6. You know, you need the B6 to make glutathione, don't you? Because of the
You do.
translocation
You
pathway.
absolutely do because pyridoxine pathways is there for the energy source, and it actually is the only thing that helps you increase your memory power. And so we give B6 vitamins to a lot of people. They have memory issues all the time, and so why why deplete them with alcohol when you can increase when you don't have to worry about those things if you don't drink alcohol in the first place? Again, alcohol is a whole different subject. If I go on
Absolutely.
that tangent, I can talk for hours and convince
We
people not to
should
drink.
just talk about alcohol. So, fertility, this is an interesting one. I'm learning that glutathione becomes really important in the concept of fertility from not only just from the quality of the eggs and sperm. So obviously, when they come together and they make the zygote and then the embryo and then implantation and it's just so many different layers that can occur and go wrong if you have low glutathione. Can you explain some of the things that might be contributing to infertility from a
So
glutathione perspective?
So I'm not sure if it's the glutathione itself that has a direct impact on it, but I think that oxidative stress is the direct impact on it. And I'll tell you about oxidative stress. So when you breathe oxygen every single day, it causes oxidation. And what oxidation is pretty much like rusting your nails, right? If you put the nails out in the open air, eventually it's gonna get rusted. That's oxidation. When what happens, oxidation happens every single second in your body. It happens all the time because you breathe oxygen, there's a chemical reaction that happens in the body that creates oxygen species that need to be neutralized. When the oxygen that you breathe, the oxidation is not neutralized, that oxidation increases in the body. The amount of oxygen that increases in the body that your body can neutralize is called oxidative stress. It's the difference between how much your body has oxidation and how much body can produce antioxidant to neutralize that. The difference is what is called oxidative stress. The oxidative stress is actually the most damaging thing in your body. It damages the easiest thing that it can damage is the young embryos, the young sperm, the young eggs that are just about to get fertilized. Those are extremely vulnerable to all this oxidation or oxidative stress. And so keep in mind, average age of people getting pregnant right now has gone over 30. And that is crazy, right? The older people are wants to have a child because when they're younger, they're career driven and then they're not having babies at an early age. And so the older people, they already have oxidative stress. Anybody over the age of 30 already have oxidative stress. And so for them, it's a must. It is absolutely a must. If you're trying to get pregnant or if you're trying to have a family, you got to bring the oxidative stress down to zero as low as possible. Glutathione supplementations help doing anything and everything possible to improve glutathione levels in your body is a must. Now, your question is also going to be, does it help young people? Young people today has the highest amount of metabolic disorder has ever recorded. Why? And that's another thing, right? There's a lot of issues. Is it environmental factors? Is it the food that we eat? Or is it a combination of everything that we are going through right now? Mental health issues are increasing. People not moving around and not doing exercise on a regular basis. People are stuck to the social media, the phones, and working on the computers all the time and things like that, and away from all those activities. That sedentary lifestyle is also increasing oxidation in your body in the first place. That oxidation eventually goes into oxidative stress. So now we are seeing young people, like in the early 20s, late teens to early 20s, having high increase in the oxidative stress. And so those people are having fertility issues to begin with. Plus, alcohol doesn't help either, right? And so all these things is a cumulative effect. Nutrients, the foods that we eat doesn't have enough nutrients, doesn't have enough cysteine, and doesn't have enough glycine in your diet to make your enough glutathione levels. And if that's the case, then you're bound to have low levels to begin with, and the cycle starts really fast from oxidation, oxidative stress, poor diet, and it just goes on and on and on.
Well, alarmingly, you said 30, which is amazing, because we're trained that it's 35 and up. And you are correct. In my world, I see a lot of people in their 40s trying to have a baby, which in the old days they could. They could have babies in their 50s in the old days. So something
Yes.
has definitely changed. Um, Back to fertility, I am very interested because you talked about mitochondria and the role
Yes.
glutathione play. Could that be the link that's affecting the infertility because the glutathione is necessary for the health of the mitochondria and maybe the mitochondria are declining earlier than they should because of lack of glutathione, amongst other things?
Well, that is the main reason. The mitochondria is the energy powerhouse, and we need those mitochondria. That also, mitochondria can also support the hormone imbalances as well, or support hormone balancing. Either way, you can look at either way, right? So, supporting the mitochondrial health is absolutely crucial because without the mitochondrial health, there is no energy. There is no life without mitochondria.
So I had a patient come to me, or somebody online actually, who
Uh-huh.
said they're doing mitochondrial transfer now in IVF, where they're taking a mitochondria of a younger person and putting it into the egg of an
Oh,
older
wow.
person. Seems risky if
Wow.
you ask me. It's not legal in the US. They're doing it in Australia and the UK, I believe. It's expensive. But is that necessary, or can fertility be restored without those types of fancy procedures? Because this comes up
So,
a lot with me and
yeah.
people asking me about that, and I find that very invasive. Taking a mitochondria of another person and putting it into an egg, why not restore your own? Is that possible, in your opinion?
So I've never heard of this transfer before, so this is news to me because it's a very risky procedure to begin with. So I do agree with you on that part. But in my 25 years of career working with glutathione itself, I believe we can restore the mitochondrial health effectively with a very short amount of time, right? Back in like 20 years ago, they were prescribing N-acetylcysteines and vitamin C to improve your sperm count, improve the quality of the egg. Now, 20 years ago, uh, we didn't have this big of an issue. Infertility was still an issue even back then, but not what we have today. This today is like on a rampant right now. It's just crazy. But even 20 years ago, I used to prescribe all my patients those products and to improve the mitochondrial health. And by doing that, we had so many success stories of parents or couples trying to have conceive for the very first time. And so I believe we can absolutely do that part with the help of glutathione, because the glutathione is actually the only product that can reduce oxidative stress to the mitochondria within 4 hours of single application, and by doing so, can restore the mitochondrial health right away.
Offline, we should talk about a test that I'm doing called Theriome. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it is a mitochondrial snapshot.
Yep,
It's
I did myself.
Have you heard of it?
I did it myself just about a couple of months ago.
Oh, good. Yes.
Yeah,
And so it would be a really interesting trial to get people on Theriome because it has a digital twinning. And then we can have them use the glutathione for like a period of time, maybe like 90 days or whatever you think is sufficient enough to get the restoration of the mitochondria, and then repeat the Theriome to see if there's been an improvement in those domains.
of course.
I like that idea.
Oh, I've talked to the CEO of the company as well, and so we have been chatting for a while right now, trying to figure that
Michael
portion
Lowe?
out. Yes,
Yes, I'm good friends with him.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know. I'm always in communication with him. That could be an idea. I like that idea. I'm thinking about
Yep.
doing something like that. I'd be interested to see how that works.
Because
Because there are tests. There's tests that you can do to check your mitochondrial functionality and how that's doing. So I'm glad to hear that, you and I are both on board with like not needing those invasive procedures.
So just to give you my results, I did my test for the very first time because they
Oh,
were so gung-ho about it. And I've been taking glutathione for now 6 years in a row. And you wouldn't believe my overall health of mitochondria. It is the guy said this is absolutely amazing. This I've never seen somebody's mitochondria so good. The results are just off the charts. And so I was very pleased to see that results come through.
doctor, I'm sure you also live a very healthy lifestyle as well and probably eat clean and exercise.
I don't exercise, but I do eat pretty clean. I gave up alcohol a couple of years ago as well. So before that, I used to drink alcohol maybe once or twice a month at the most. That's also one to two drink maximum anyway. So I wasn't like a heavy drinker at all. But even those, I completely gave up for the last couple of years now. So now, right now, I'm completely alcohol free, meat free. In most cases, I probably have fish maybe no more than 6 to 8 times per year. no more than that. So completely meat-free diet, just drink water. I do have black coffee maybe once or twice a week as maximum. But again, that's these are all my vices, by the way, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I mean, we have to still follow a healthy lifestyle. Those listening,
Yeah,
you could just take a supplement and that's all, let's go eat McDonald's and spray our glutathione. That's not
doesn't
gonna
work.
work. Yeah.
No.
All right, different delivery methods. Hot topic here. Okay, we have different forms. They're everywhere. So when I first started this glutathione journey, the only thing available to me at that time, because it was almost 10 years ago, was liposomal.
Okay.
And it did help me a lot because I would do liposomal and I did the doctor, I don't know if you heard of Dr. Horowitz, which is a Lyme
Yep.
doctor, and I
Yep.
did his
Richard.
cocktail with the Alka-Seltzer Gold and the lemon juice because when I was having die-off, I couldn't function. I had such bad brain fog. As soon as I drank it, within 30 minutes, my brain fog was gone. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. So that was the first one. And then I got into IV. That was pretty cool. I liked how I felt after doing the IV. I just didn't think it lasted long term. I think it was like maybe for a few hours, but it did help me. And then I did injections at home. So I could buy the injections online and then I inject at home. And now this. Can you talk about these different delivery methods and how to
So
compare?
let me just tell you my history with all the different delivery systems, so that way you know where I'm coming from. In 1999, we were the first. I'm a compounding pharmacist, right? So my pharmacy was actually the first pharmacy that I think of that made the first liposome glutathione in 1999. At that time, there was no liposome technology available in the vitamin world at all. I don't think that there was any product in the marketplace that was selling liposome products. So we made the first liposomal vitamin C, glutathione, PQQ, CoQ10, things like that, right? And so we made it. Now, some of the products were actually did work, so we were selling those products out. But then glutathione, I was a little disappointed because it helped on some people, it did not help on everybody. And I said, I couldn't believe it, right? Because glutathione is something that our body naturally produces it. So I thought that it should work on 100% of the people, but the answer was not true. So I said, okay, this is not going to work for me. And so quickly in 2001, I switched to making intravenous form of glutathione. Of course, the IV glutathione, I was one of the first sterile compounding pharmacy in California, in the United States, to start making glutathione, a whole bunch of glutathione IV products. And what I quickly found out that it was very short-lived. It worked for like 5 to 15 minutes, and then it doesn't work for another 3 or 4 hours, and then it works again for another 3 or 4 hours, and then it stops again. I said, why this double response rates? What the heck is happening? And I couldn't figure it out. At that time, the internet was not very prevalent, so I couldn't do research at that time. But by 2003 or four, I found a research back in 1991 that, hey, the glutathione by the IVs actually never entered the red blood cells. It just stays in the plasma part of the blood, and the plasma is the water part that filters by the kidney every 5 to 15 minutes. And there was a 300-fold increase of glutathione in the urine within 5 to 15 minutes. I said, well, there you go. That's why it only worked for 5 to 15 minutes. It didn't work for long term. But then I said, why does it work 3 hours later or 4 hours later? What they found out was even in the bladder, the body was breaking down the glutathione into the amino acids, and they saw an uptake of cysteine in the blood like 2 hours later, 3 hours later. And when so the cysteine in the blood, cysteine was actually used as one of the substrate to conjugate and make your body making your own glutathione. So that's how it was working. I said, okay, that makes sense. The body says, hey, don't give me the product, give me the building blocks, and I'll make my own glutathione. Okay, so that's how it was working. And I goes, well, if that's how the IVs work, what about the liposome technology? How come that did not work on everybody? It worked on somebody, not worked on anybody. And so I couldn't figure that portion out until 2011. 2011, there's a University of Texas in Austin did a study on autistic kids, and they found out the same exact results like the IVs. When they give 26 kids oral liposomal glutathione capsules or liquids, and they also use transdermal as well, they saw zero increase of glutathione in the blood following liposome products. What they did see was increase of cysteine in the blood, and cysteine was later used to conjugate and make your own glutathione. And so, wait a second. If all this technology product that's out there now that we make it, the body doesn't absorb any one of them, why the heck are we giving these products in the first place? And if we think back, Now, back in the 60s, there was only one molecule ever approved by FDA to use to improve glutathione levels, which is NAC. The brand name is called Mucomyst. It's still available in the hospitals today. If you go to the hospitals with overdose on Tylenol, they will give you Mucomyst, revive you back to normal, and get you out of the world again, right? So there's still, even today, it's 60, 80 years later, that is the only drug that is still approved by FDA to improve glutathione levels to manage the toxicities. And so I came to one conclusion is that no matter what the delivery form is, the body will actually break it down, absorb the amino acids, use that to make your own glutathione again.
So then they're pretty much wasting their money because they should just take the amino acids at that point. Is
There you
that
go.
correct?
That is exactly right,
Because
right?
the IVs are expensive. They're like $300 a pop sometimes in some.
Well, I know, but not all. The glutathione is just a push at the end. So that it's an upcharge, like 50, $80 an upcharge at the end, because the glutathione is not in the bag. The glutathione is a push after the bag
Correct.
is completely
Correct.
drained.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Depending on
you
what
can
you're doing.
yeah, you can skip the push or you can take it. It's still good for a few hours, so it's
I
still
did
not
after I
terrible.
used to do ozone. So I did ozone IV, which might got
Yes,
the ozone.
yeah.
But
So
yeah, I did that, but I would do the glutathione after because I would get that weird die-off feeling after ozone that made me feel really bad. And so when I did the push, I did notice I mitigated that.
yeah. So in your case, I want to go back to your gene mutations because very early on you said that you had gene mutations. Uh, Even though the product did work for you and you have a gene that does not conjugate, make your own glutathione, that gene is actually suppressed still. It's not expressing in the gene yet. So you have it. Given time, given the condition is right, one day you'll stop working for you. And after that time, hopefully there's only one product that actually doesn't get broken down, which is a topical form of glutathione. That's the only product that will work for you. So there are patients out there, they have a gene mutation that is expressing the gene mutations. They have this massive brain fog that doesn't clear away. And literally, apply the glutathione topically on their arms or the belly, and 5 minutes later, the fog's gone and nothing works. The IV does not work. The liposome does not work. The capsule does not work. The suppositories, the inhaled solutions, nothing works for those people. And the topical form, they apply it, and instantaneously the brain fog is gone.
Talk
And
about
so,
it. Why is it
and,
different? Tell me
and
about
so
your
the
topical.
so the issue is that if your body breaks down all the peptides and absorbs the amino acids and reconjugate to it again, if you're gene mutation with GSTM, GSTP, GGT, all those gene mutations, your body cannot conjugate. That means you cannot make your own glutathione. So you can break it apart, but you cannot reattach it again. And then you're out of luck, right? Versus the topical form that we have created, it never gets broken down. We have a technology, we have dual technology, we have a technology that bypasses your skin barrier, which is a physical barrier, get inside your skin. Then under your skin, the cells is a chemical barrier, the cell membrane. The size doesn't matter. It's a lock and key. The right receptor will accept the molecule from outside sources and incorporate it into inside your cells. And so we use something called a dextrin sugar technology. And that's why it's very sticky when you apply it. It's very sticky. The sticky part is a sugar that inside the sugar molecule is glutathione embedded inside. So the cell membrane accepts the sugar molecule. Inside this is glutathione. So instantaneously gets inside your cell. And once it gets inside your cell, it transfers from cell to cell to the same lipid raft system that goes all over your body, into your brain, into kidneys, into your spleen, into your liver, everywhere. And so within seconds, it transports through this complete different system, not your blood, not your lymphatic, it's from cell to cell transfer. And that's the whole different technology that we have developed that transports this throughout your body.
It doesn't matter where you apply it in the
It
body.
doesn't matter where you apply it. And that's the best part. You can apply it in your face, you can apply it in your belly, you can apply it in your arm, your legs. I don't really care where you apply it. The only thing is the palms and the soles of the feet is a little bit hard to to absorb through that part, but he will still get through it, right? Plus, it gets sticky, so he cannot touch things and things like that. So it becomes uncomfortable. Like I go to my masseuse, and my masseuse will spray on my on my soles of my feet for that 1 hour, and oh my God, I sleep like a baby for that 1 hour, right? And he knows exactly where to spray it on and just rub it in, then and boom, it does a massage on me, and it's just the best massage I have every time.
Where do you recommend most people spray it? And should they change different locations of where they spray it?
There is no need to change location. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. I personally use on my arms and my belly, and the reason is those two spots is because those two areas we have done clinical trials on that part. The first trial was done in 2011, and that was sprayed on your arms, and we had the blood levels rise really, really fast during that technology during that trial. And then 2023, we did another human trial, and this was done through an IRB approval process. So we went through IRB approval process to get this human trial done, and that was actually applied on the belly, and we got the same exact results.
Good. Okay, I think people will like to hear that. The belly
Yeah.
probably is better. Yeah, for a lot of people. Okay. So this is exciting. So scientific evidence supports the use of glutathione. What have you done trials to see like the levels of serum levels of glutathione increasing
Yeah.
or
So
intracellular?
as I said, we did two trials. The first trial we did in 2011 was a small trial just for the USPTO office because they wanted proof of concept before they apply, they give issue patents to me. So I had to do a small trial for like, I think a 1 to 5 patient trial is all that's necessary. And so we did that trial early on. Only thing that we were claiming that, hey, it gets to your skin, inside your cell, inside your bloodstream, inside your red blood cells, and I can measure that instantaneously. So within 5 to 15 minutes, we saw an increase in the blood. It stayed in the blood at peak at about 45 minutes, stayed in the blood cells for about 4 to 6 hours, depending on what your age was, and then it starts going lower. So that was the first trial we did in 2011. After that, I did a lot of, again, we were giving it to doctors only. So doctors were using it in their clinical practices, giving to the patients with the prescription. So they were using it for almost 10 plus years. Hence, if you read my book, the book has all my doctor's notes that came to me. At that time, there was no product ready to market yet. I was just giving it to the doctors, and they were using it in the clinical practice. So all the stories I heard over the years, it's in my book. Please read that book, and so you get yourself educated. But then in 2022, one of the professors at the university in California from med school comes to me and said, "Hey, if you think this is so good, let me do a 3-day trial. In 3 days, if what you're saying is correct, and he read my book as well. If you're saying this is correct, then you should get the results in 3 days." I said, "What kind of results are you looking for?" I said, "I want to see immune markers off the charts, and based on the immune system, I will see a reduction in the bacteria load." I said, "Oh my God, that I've never seen this before." So it was a 3-day trial. In 3 days, what they found out was right away there was a rise of the glutathione levels in the blood cells, which I knew the answer to that one. They saw a reduction of the oxidative stress marker, which is MDA levels, drop within the first 4 hours of application. Then what they do is they took the blood out and put it in a test tube. They infected the blood with Mycobacterium infection. Mycobacterium has no cure as of today. That Mycobacterium load was actually reduced after 1 hour of application of glutathione. And
Wow.
so the researchers goes, this is impossible. I've never seen this before. Why and how? They were doing the blood test for the next 3 days just to see what was happening. And by the third day, they saw how this was working. They saw increase of all the inflammatory markers, which is a cytokines IL-2, IL-12, TNF alpha, interferon gamma. These are all the pro-inflammatory markers. They went up high. The reason is because they detected an infection in your blood. So it was fighting the infection. Immune system was activated to fight the infection, and that's what they saw. So the condition, so the final not condition, the conclusion was that glutathione by itself is not an antibacterial, it's not an antiviral, nothing. But what it did was it helps your body fight its own problems naturally. So all the studies that I've done, the one thing that comes over and over and over to me is that glutathione by itself doesn't do anything. It's an antioxidant, it's a massive detoxifier. But what it does is that it allows the body to basically don't have to multitask. Tells the body, say, hey, body, I got your antioxidant benefits done. I got your detoxification work done. You go solve the problems. You go fight the infection. You go rejuvenate the cells. You go regenerate all the tissues and every single thing. You do what you are best at it, and let me deal with the oxidation stress, and let me deal with the detoxification pathways. And so the glutathione is allowing the body to basically defend itself and giving the emanation to do all the dirty work.
Restoring homeostasis, huh?
I mean, the homeostasis. That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's a word. Homeostasis. It doesn't exist, right? Homeostasis doesn't exist right now.
Yeah.
And to get to homeostasis means what? That means your body is trying to get to some sort of a balance.
Hmm. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with fertility, that's really good because then you can conceive mostly the time. I feel like they can conceive naturally. They won't even really need the IVF if they have that proper tools to do that, which is ideal. So
One more
yeah, go
thing.
ahead.
We're
Yeah,
talking about fertility right now.
yeah.
I have, if you go to my website, there's so many cases where patients has talked to us that, hey, when they first get pregnant, they're having this intense amount of nausea and vomiting, all those things. They apply the glutathione and instantaneous, the nausea goes away. Now, glutathione is not an anti-nausea medication whatsoever, but where's the nausea coming from? It's oxidative stress. So if the oxidative stress is lowered right away, the mitochondria, guess what? It triggers the brain to lower all the guards down. So because everything else is taking care of it, so there's no nausea.
I
It's
had
an
the best pregnancy at this time around. I have three kids. This is my third. I'm the oldest. My oldest pregnancy is my best one. My other two were horrific. I had terrible nausea and morning sickness. And I was using the spray because I felt safe using the spray. I didn't want to use the oral. I wasn't sure if that was safe during pregnancy. So I felt good using the spray. I was good. It's true, it's transdermal. I'm not taking anything. When you're pregnant, you're worried about what you're consuming.
of course.
Everything you consume, you're worried about. And I did consume. That's great news that I was doing the right thing, taking it while I was pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, um, this is a lot of things to unpack. So I guess what I want to know, I guess lastly here is there people who should not take this or not take glutathione? Are there some people who may have a reaction to it?
So the reaction means that you do need the glutathione for sure, 100%. The people they don't need glutathione are the young people. They have completely intact, everything is intact, immune system, their oxygen stress is low. They don't need to take glutathione. What they do need to do is to follow the good habits. Don't smoke, don't drink alcohol, stay away from the toxicities, drink clean water, eat clean food. If you keep on doing those kinds of things, your body can produce glutathione until you're 35, 40 years of age, maybe, right? Now you're pushing it 40 years, still pushing it, but your body can sustain that part. After that, everybody's gonna need it. But majority of the people, what I have found out in my little trial in my patient database is that about the age of 30, people need supplementation somehow because they have misbehaved somehow, right? Or the stress is getting to them because the society is in such a shambles right now that to make ends meet, you have to have two jobs. And that's two jobs for you, two jobs for your spouse. So you have four jobs just to make ends meet. And hopefully there'll be enough to survive, right? And it's not, one person cannot just make the whole family work anymore. And so that's added stress for everybody is not helping us stay healthy. So that's what I think. So it's an issue. Now, besides that, the only people that may, some of the doctors, like oncologists, may recommend them to not to use glutathione, and I would not go against those oncologists at any given point because they have a very difficult job to make you survive or to help you get out of cancer issues that you have. So in those cases, if the doctor says not to take glutathione for any reason, then do not take it. But other than that, I do work with a lot of integrative oncologists, and they prescribe they use glutathione like on everybody, right? And so there are two trains of thoughts of those, but those are the only people they have that I have known not to use glutathione.
Yeah, one of my one of my patients' husbands is a cancer coach, and he says that antioxidants are not recommended in the early stage of early treatment of cancer, but when in remission, it's okay. There's some mechanism of cancer that antioxidants can be problematic early on, but that's what he was telling me. But I don't treat cancer, so.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Wow. Okay, last question here to wrap this up. If someone is interested in fertility or anti-aging, what's one practical step they can take today to optimize their glutathione? And of course, take the oh, sorry. I see the two products, Glutero and Glutero Plus. Explain the difference between those. And I'm just going to share here on the screen. Those of you watching on YouTube, there we go. There's our Glutero and there's our Plus. I use the Plus, but I have this one too. What is the difference, doctor?
The difference is the concentration. So all my clinical trials that I have done is on gluterol. The plus, of course, as you can imagine, I have so many high-end clientele celebrities. If you just go down on the website, you can see some of my clientels on the list. On the bottom, there's a picture. And so the thing is, all this high-end clientels, what ends up happening is that they think little is good, more is better. And I'll tell you, more is not better.
Okay.
Now, your needs are higher for temporarily, especially when you're pregnant. You do need high levels of glutathione temporarily, but once the baby is born, no, you don't need this high levels of glutathione. So go back to the gluterol or use that product is better. So most of my clients are using gluterol. The plus is for people that have high needs, people with autoimmune conditions. So there are conditions that deplete the glutathione levels to zero: autoimmune, cancers, metabolic disorders, severe metabolic disorders, acute infections. Those people may need high levels of glutathione temporarily. You boost the levels up high. Once everything gets stabilized, move to gluterol, uses that as a maintenance product.
Great, great, great. That's good to know. And then, so the one practical advice for somebody who, either their fertility or anti-aging, so to optimize their glutathione, what should they do?
So there, okay. I wish there was just one practical advice, but I'll give you three, right? The first one is that avoid toxins. Avoid anything that can deplete the glutathione level. It's the number one molecule produced in the human body, and it's our duty to do whatever it takes to make sure we don't deplete those levels in the first place. So that's the number one. Number two, you eat in your diet, you should have in your diet cysteine rich foods at every single day. Every single day. It's not an option. You eat food not because you like the taste, you eat food because it's a fuel to the body. And the body's number one job is to make glutathione every single day. So having cysteine rich food as an option for you is a must. And I'm not going to tell you what those foods are because everybody has an AI robot or a web page that you can just click it in there, cysteine rich options, and you get your vegan, your vegetarian, your carnivore, your omnivore, your paleo, your Mediterranean, whatever diet plan you follow. I'm not here to judge you on that one, but you're going to have options available on all of them. Make sure you eat that. And once you do all those things, the third and the last option is supplementation. Now, as I said earlier about supplementations, most of the supplements will work on most of the people, but if you have a gene mutations or if you want to guarantee that your body's going to get absorbed, then the topical version is the only one that has shown beyond a shadow of doubt is actually absorbing everybody. It's a little pricey, but it's a guaranteed results in the sense that it's going to get absorbed, right? Does it work on everybody? No. But the thing is, if it doesn't work on you, guess what? That means your levels might be okay, or the thing is your body has not deteriorated far enough that that you're not seeing the benefits of glutathione, and that's a good thing, right? But in most cases, you're gonna notice increase in energy. You'll notice your detox pathways are activated, so you feel lighter, you feel healthier, and then eventually the real benefit kicks in like few months down the road when your body starts rebuilding your whole body from inside out.
Great. Thank you so much. That's great advice. Well, this was a pleasure, Dr. Patel, and I'm really looking forward to publishing this. And I really appreciate your time today. Thank you
No,
so
thank
much.
you for having me here today. I
And
appreciate
make sure
it.
you read his book. And if you don't want to read, it is on Audible.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can do that. The Audible is very good. It's very easy to understand. It's not technical or anything like that. He also even goes through all the foods you can eat to increase your glutathione that is absolutely in the book. So I highly recommend you become familiar with this. And if you want to learn about it, that's a great place to start. I have a link below for the product. So if you want to try it out, you can check out the link below. And there's no harm in trying it out. I mean, I think you're gonna love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
It's a
much for having
pleasure.
me.